All right. We should, oh my God, we should finally be live. I was like the third time that I tried to get that. So the first time I went ahead and started this bad boy up, I think I must have created a new go live because it started, but it didn't go to the one that you all sitting here waiting on. I see there's a bunch of you waiting. We should finally be live.
Oh, there we go.
And I can see now that we're over here. It is working. There we go. Now we're back. What is it? I'm back in the saddle again, right? So anyway, over here there is all this. You stream, but then you go live, and so it's like I started the one, and I was talking. I was like, I don't think I'm live, which is why I always go check it. And then Point over here, who jumped in, he said, I don't know how he found it, but he said, hey, you're not in the right place. Then I got the right one. And I clicked and I start talking to y'all again. And I realize I'm broadcasting, but it doesn't say go live. So whatever on all that, So then it was my third attempt at doing that. Anyway, welcome to have you guys here. Looks like we got Point is here. Good to see you, Point. Thanks for your help already this morning. Certainly do appreciate that. We got Duck here. Duck! Hey, Duck! All right, guy turns around, Duck hits him in the face, right? So, all right, we're going to jump into this. This week, we're going to be looking at we've got more of a technical flagship this week that we're going to look at. We'll get to it here, but the one this week is going to have to do with getting our WSL set up. Hey, there's Gary Brown. Yo, what's up, Gary? Welcome. Hi, Gary. That's my name, too. All right. So, yeah, we're going to have over here our flagship. We're going to work on this WSL setup. Now, I'm going to let you guys know I have worked in the past with this. I offer if you're a member, you can get it. It's a WSL setup, so it actually downloads your distribution, gets it going, and it installs your Cuda and your deep neural network and Miniconda. Save you a ton of time with that. Guys, so Gary's laughing at things. Hey, us Garys, we gotta stick together, yo. So, at any rate, the WSL, you can get the script over here, and I'll show you where to get that later. But I stopped giving support on this because WSL is one of these things that it's like, it cannot work for people. So sometimes people get in and it's like there are so many different things that are going on. So I will say the caveat here is that as we're going to work on this, I got a script that'll work with you. You've got to make sure that it's installed on your system correctly because it is a bear. And like I said, I used to make, I do all my Windows stuff, and I would also always make a WSL version for it, and it just got to the point where the troubleshooting was just out of control, so I stopped. But here's the deal: there's so much stuff out there that does require Linux that we need to get back into getting WSL working. Okay, again, like I said, we've got scripts that you can do it, but this might be a good project for you to work on. But I know I'm just repeating myself here. I'm being redundant, but it either installs easy or it installs bad. And I've had them both. Like I've done a fresh Windows installation and WSL comes along and not a problem. I've had other ones, fresh Windows installation. I'm like, why the heck is WSL not working? So, okay. But we'll get into this. We're going to look at some, there's a reason why we're doing this as well. So, but let's pop over to our weekly review here. Really quickly, Point says, yeah, kind of complicated. You need to go into your BIOS first sometimes, which is different for everyone. So I've never had to go into my BIOS, but yeah, that would be difficult. I've got videos on this. You do definitely have to go to, a lot of times have to go to your add or remove Windows applications thing under your start menu, and then you have to enable it. And then it causes a reboot and, but we'll get through it. I mean, hey, if it's easy, then you're not learning, I guess. All right, well, let's get through their weekly review. We didn't actually get a lot of software done, but there was a lot done this week, so probably won't take us too long. I did this article here about Chinese silent entry, hidden hardware discovered in U.S. Solar systems. So they actually, again, and this was not some like right-wing conspiracy sort of thing. This was actually from this website, Industrial. This is actually all over the place. I typically try to find articles that, I know how people are. You'll post something, if they don't want to hear it, they'll attack the source, right? So I typically try to find places that you're like, it's a middle of the ground place, So it did come over here, and essentially what it was saying was that a bunch of tests showed that there was software installed inside our power grid stuff from China that was not, Chinese businesses, and that they didn't disclose it. Okay. Malcolm just popped in from England. Hey, Malcolm, good to have you as always. Malcolm is one of our regulars. So guys, be sure to say yo to him. So at any rate, it's just talking about how there's stuff hidden in here. And the purpose of this, people get I'm going to say it, they get their panties in a bundle when you start talking about China. And it's just like, no one's saying anything bad about China, but we are saying that the government over there does have incredible power to do stuff, and there are geopolitical things that are going on, and there's evidence of this kind of stuff. So one of the things just comes down to reliance on cheap LLMs, and we're going to get into that up here, I think. Yeah, we're going to get into this DeepSeek stuff up here, and it just kind of gets into this reliance we get on cheap technology, cheap LM, but there's always a cost, right? I feel like we should go back and read our Grimm's fairy tales, because there's got to be something about that. Okay, we looked at Flux Context, which is cool. Now, I took a different spin on this one. I went at this as the future of face swapping, and I'll explain that in a second. But essentially, this one, you can see this is the original image here, this beautiful gal, and then it goes ahead and it puts her on, I've said put her on a jet ski. And it did a good job. Notice it kept her sweater there, kept the shirt, everything pretty much the way it is, even the slit there on the arm. Her face changes a little bit, but that's incredible stuff. And I did a few of these others. So really what it's getting down to is consistency of character, which is going to be important for advertising and this sort of stuff with business. Now, the reason I called it the future of face swapping is because we haven't had any big changes in the face swapping scene in a long time. So we have our rope, we have fart fusion, which I do not like. I do not suggest you use it, and you can ask me more later if you want. But we've got rope is really good. We've got reactor. Honestly, Visomaster, rope, they're the same thing. They're just awesome. Okay. But nothing has really changed. So we've been dealing with the same core models. Now, I think what's going to happen is if this goes open source, what we're going to see is that people take the technology and they integrate it into the face swapping thing. So at some point you won't even be having to face swap with this stuff. You'll literally just be saying rebuild the picture with this person's image, which, so, it's essentially building a LoRa off the thing. I think that within the next year, we see a jump in face swapping tech. We'll see. Right now, this is not open source. Yet I don't even know that you can pay for it, but it's coming out, so maybe you can pay. Okay, we did this. Guys, I had so much to do last week, and I honestly, I hit just analysis paralysis. Like, so many videos to do, and I was just like, I can't do any of them. I'm like, I have so much. I don't know if you guys ever felt like that. I'm like, I have so much to do, I can't do anything. And so I didn't get around to much. But this, I want to teach you guys about a LLM that's called GML. And essentially what we're doing is we're using Cobalt CPP and running a local programming model. So if you guys know, let's see what we can do over here. If you guys have ever played with programming models before, my experience is typically that they're not that great. Okay, like I don't usually like to program with a local one because I'd just rather use ChatGPT or Grok. But I was turned on by Hanky, who is one of the creators of Cobalt CPP, to this model called GLM, and it is good. And I actually want to make a video. That's one of the things I was saying I need to get to doing this video to show you how to run this locally. And we ran it with a quant model, and essentially what I was able to do was, with a one-shot, I made this little program. So one shot, of course, just means like I threw it in, I said what I want, and it created. And I said I want an ASCII creator that I can throw an image or a video into, and it will make the thing there. And it did that. So let's go ahead and, I mean, that's incredible. Now, I understand I'm still living in the 80s here, but this is the kind of stuff that makes me excited. I don't know, I just like it. And if you zoom in, you'll see those are all asterisks and stuff. So this was all done on a local, this was, okay, not all done. The first part was done on a local machine with this local model GLM, and then I threw it into Grok, and Grok fixed it up to make it even better. So, by the way, you can get this for free over here. This is all members. You can even be a free member, and you can get this. So we got that. Okay, let's go over to our comments really quick. 9-layer Knife says, hello, I'm burnt out this week looking at TTS installs for RTX 50 series. Yeah, got Cocoa working okay, but my head exploded on some others and hit the bottle. So I was telling you guys that we're going through a TTS explosion. Everything comes in cycles. You get a bunch of image stuff, then you get a bunch, or video, you get a bunch of image stuff, you know, then something will come through, and then you'll get your audio. So it's almost like they work on this, they say, release this stuff first. Okay, now let's work on this, release that stuff. And text-to-speech stuff is typically kind of a lower priority, but it's always consistently comes out. But you go through these cycles. Right now we're going through a cycle. All the TTS stuff is hitting the wall. So we probably got 1 million videos to go through with this. I'm going to be honest, I get kind of overwhelmed with running all these things. And I think when we first started Get Going Fast, I was literally like installing everything and putting it up there. And as I've gotten more into having to interact with you guys, really the troubleshooting takes up a lot of my time too. I find that putting every single app up there is difficult. But if you guys let me know the ones you want to look at, let me know, and we will get that going. So 9, send me up a list of the TTS stuff you're looking at as well. Okay, let's go back over here, and Point said there will be an open source model and scores high on the similarity benchmark better than others. So he's talking back to our context. Point also says, I'm waiting for the promised model from OpenAI that's supposed to be best local reasoning model. Okay, he must be talking about GLM. And Gary Brown says, I've been doing a lot of PineScript programming. So I'm not sure what PineScript programming is. So let's go to ChatGPT, and let's close this out and say, what is PineScript programming? And it says, PineScript is a domain-specific programming language used to write custom indicator strategies and alerts on TradingView. Oh, okay. Big picture, think of PineScript as the Excel formulas for stock charts. Very cool. So, Gary, obviously, we need to be following you. Tell us where to invest our money, and I'll give you a percentage of everything I earned. All right. Blaza, NYOB, just popped in. He says, good morning. So we're going to be like, yo, good morning to you, Blaza, or Blaza, or, you know, maybe he's blazing. He's probably a Blaza. Are you from Portland? You could be a Portland Trail Blaza. All right. Anyway, welcome. But let's move on with this. So we got, okay, back to our China stuff. News and opinion, DeepSeek censorship, and China's hidden tech. What's inside U.S. devices? Okay, so I thought I had uploaded another article. Evidently not. This is just my opinion piece on here. But again, we were talking about the China putting stuff in, hidden stuff in here. But it also was showing that benchmarks with DeepSeek, they're getting to the point where they're cracking down on free speech. And that's how this stuff always works. Listen, if I have an agenda, and I don't think that my agenda is necessarily going to be popular with people, what I'll do is I'll release something and I'll keep my agenda down. And then I get people in, and then I start to put in my agenda. Okay? And so that's what is basically happening with DeepSeek. So it was always censored because it's run by the CCP. So you got to understand that businesses in China, they are not free. They are state run. Okay, you don't have, it's not like you have a Tesla over there that is owned by this guy in the government and he can tell the government to fuck off, right? They can't do that. If they tell the government to F off, they get killed or thrown off a building or something like that. So China owns the stuff. So that means that these companies are very beholden to the Communist Party. Now, when you go into this thing, if you ask it stuff, it will block you. Okay, so like if you start asking about Taiwan, it'll straight up say no. I asked it some questions about the CCP itself, trying to kind of trigger it into giving some criticisms. It actually printed it out and then it erased it. You know how ChatGPT will do that? You're like, hey, make me a picture of a pretty girl standing next to a thing, and you get like half of it, and then all of a sudden it just blanks that, says, oh, sorry, I can't do that. So that's what DeepSeek was doing with questions about communism, questions about Taiwan, free speech, all this kind of stuff. Now, maybe you say, okay, I can expect that because that's, they're running it, so why are they going to talk bad about themselves? Okay, fine. But you do ought to also understand that when you pair this with other stuff, that where they're actually throwing in secret stuff, you got to understand that these companies, if they're willing to do one thing, they're willing to do another thing. And when you let these models take great levels of influence, then over time, they can increase more and more. If you guys remember with Google last year, Google got really bad. You were asking, like, say, hey, show me a picture of a pope from, of a pope, or show me a picture of a Caesar. And they were putting out like African-American people, stuff that was totally not historically correct, because of their wanting to push diversity, equity, and inclusion. So they get their opinions in there. Now, nice thing about America is that when that kind of stuff happens, we can kind of vote with our shoes, with our feet, right? When it gets into things like China, where you're talking massive geopolitical influence, we got to be a little bit more careful. So they could do that with whatever they want, okay? I will end it with here. I don't know if you guys know this. There is, in China, they have a city that has a fake moon, okay? And they can make that moon, where's my hand? They can make that moon rise. They can like turn off the sun basically and make the moon rise. They control stuff. If you believe in reincarnation, which I don't believe in, but if you do believe in reincarnation in China, you have to get permission. Okay, I'm not making this up. You have to get permission from the government to reincarnate. Okay, so that's what we're talking about. So just got to be careful about this. Okay. Gemma 3 is the first good model. That's what Point says. 5.4 is just as censored on Israel. See, everyone has the stuff. DeepSeek's updated 8B model and Quinn 3 are crazy good models for their sizes. I only use it for RAG, though. One of the things that Elon Musk said from the beginning, he's been saying this for the last couple of years, is that we need multiple LLMs. What we got to avoid is single party ownership of any one technology, because that's where that kind of stuff comes in. So what we need, hold on a second. So what we need is we need lots of competing models, and that's always the beauty of the Western system is if you do something and you start doing bad stuff with it, someone else is going to come and do something better with it, and then people just shift. So competition is good. We don't want one overarching thing. Okay, moving on, and the rest of this should go pretty fast. Updated the AI system setup. I spent a lot of time last week updating stuff for the 50 series. The 50 series has just broke stuff, okay? So if you're running a 50 series, you're not going to be able to run CUDA 12.6 with Torch. Maybe there's something that will work with it, but like for the most part, it's just not working. You have to have your Torch with CUDA 12.8. You can see that over here when we go to Torch install. We click on here, Okay, down here you can see you can click your different ones. There's 12.6. This is going to be your 3040 series, but won't work with the 50s. Click on your 12.8, that's going to work with your 50 series, not with your 40 series. Okay? So we spent time updating our system setup. If you guys have ever had to reboot your systems, reset, which typically me and my administrators, we look at that guy. update our systems. Probably, well, there for a while we were doing it once or twice a month. It's been a few months, but it's something we do consistently. And so I created this setup script. It's free for all Farmhand members, and anyway, you can run it. It gets your Cuda, gets your Miniconda, Python. It's just the fastest way to get stuff going. Okay. All right. So we updated Rope. Okay, so Rope Live is my favorite Rope that there is. It's an older one, but I'm going to tell you, they broke the manual installation. So this is Arjun Spin and Alucard. Those are the guys that work on this. Great guys from what I've talked with them a few times. Great guys. They have on here, this is the old Rope. They've moved to Visomaster now. This is the old Rope, and they have directions on how to install this manually. Wiki with install instructions, I guess. But here's the thing. The instructions it doesn't work. It got broke. So what I did with Rope Live is, this is a different Rope. Let's see. This one here, I think, is Rope Live. Yeah, with this one, I actually go back and take a different, what do they call it? A different, not fork, but a branch. So like in GitHub, you have your repositories, and then you'll have different save moments, checkpoints or whatever. So I had to go back to I found the last working checkpoint for the manual install, and we're locked into that. So that's what Rope Live does. It is the last working manual installation of Rope, but it's also awesome. I love it. I still use this more than I use Visomaster. Okay. But bottom line is I got that working for the 50 series. Okay, latent sync, which, I think is a little outdated. But
I want to tell you about Get Going Fast, the best way to get into working AI and to do it fast. Quick and easy to follow instructions and installers to get you going fast.
Okay, so that's latent sync. Latent sync was big stuff here a while ago. People still looking into it. I think they're still working around on it. But they had changed some stuff, and the installer had stopped working, so I actually fixed this. I do not believe it will work with the 50 series. But if you got a 30 or a 40 series, play around with latent sync. It's still a good app. I still think Sonic is the best. But we'll go and we'll see. Okay, we looked at this, the cinematic talking avatars. Now, so this is Higgsfield. This is just a pay to play sort of thing, but you can do some cool stuff with it, like that. I thought that was kind of cool. For my money, I want fish slapping people across the face. This reminds me of we had those models that came out, like the Squish models and all that kind of stuff. So I dubbed this the CapCut AI video generation, because if you go to Higgsfield.ai, you'll see they've got all these different stuff that's going on here. And that's kind of what CapCut does. You put in a video, you put in an image or whatever, you can change effects. So I do think this seems to be a bit expensive. Because it said it's like 20 to 50 credits per image. So $10, you could end up wiping out your entire $10 with 3 videos if you add sound. So, but whatever. It's interesting to look at. And certainly if you're in doing business, why not? Okay, there's our AI brews. Of course, these guys are great. He puts stuff up. Again, go sign up for them, but tell them, send them a message, say, hey, you should be working with Get Going Fast. Let them know that you came there from Get Going Fast. Because I'm benefiting him by promoting his stuff, and it benefits me by having some of his content, but it could really benefit us all a lot more. Okay, and then and coming up, let me tell you, I spoke with Colin Herbs, and in fact, I just totally forgot that. Later today, I am dropping the, I had a chat with him about the new FramePack Studio, and it's awesome. It's incredible. He has taken it, he has really grabbed the studio concept, and he is making it a studio. There is so much that you can do with it, and I interviewed him, not interviewed him so much, but we chatted, and he walks us through all of the stuff. And I'm going to be releasing that. And I can tell you that he is releasing the new FramePack Studio tomorrow. So that means you'll need to go to framepack.getgoingfast.pro, and you can get the update here. Okay, so be looking for that. I'll probably just there's going to be a few small things with it. So if you have this down here, you can it's already working, the old one. Now the new one has some pip install dependencies. So I'm going to put an update. It'll probably just say update. And you'll just have to put it in the folder, click it, and it will pull down the new stuff from the repository, and it'll activate your virtual environment, do all that stuff, and pull down your dependencies. But it's a huge jump, okay? Huge, as the president would say, it's huge, right? All right, let's look really quickly at our flagship project. Maybe before we do that, let's check the comments. Okay, yeah, so good stuff. Points out, Hey Jim just came out way better than latency. So I have installed Hey Jim. I haven't installed this. Too much stuff I've got to get out. I did install Hey Jim. It's decent. I still think Sonic is better, but Hey Jim is fast. Okay, Hey Jim is really fast. So I'm pretty surprised, but it's not the same quality as Hey Jim, but it is good. And it's big, but we'll get that going for you. It is a little bit of a complicated install, so I need to be working on that. I'm going to be honest, I got girls on my mind these days, and I'm just like, I want to work, but I want to chat up women too. So kind of a little bit distracted at the moment, but we're getting this stuff out. Hey, Jim. Okay, Point of View needs WSL or Docker, though. So Point, I have it working on Windows. Okay. Gary Brown, yeah, I got to be profitable on Upwork and Fiverr. Just starting out. Cool. Yep. Yeah, you got to, the big thing is I don't mind subscribing to stuff if I can use it to make money. So that's why I paid for ChatGPT. ChatGPT does a lot of stuff for me. I mean, a lot of stuff that I do. I'm on there all the time, so I don't mind paying the $20. Okay, Duck is asking, do you own any livestock IRL? I don't. Okay, I'm like a crypto sort of a guy, and I wish I had money. If I had money right now, I'd invest in Doge probably, but don't do that because I said that. Please do not. I'm not suggesting anything at all. But that's what I would do. But I'm poor. I'm just a poor lonesome cowboy here who spent all my money on a computer. So all right, God, my nose is itching. Jeez, I'm gonna kiss a fool. All right. Anyway, back to our flagship project. So we're just going to set up WSL. Let me find over here really quickly for you the CUDA and the CUDA Deep Neural Network. Install, because it is kind of a pain in the butt. I'm not going to lie. All right, almost there. It would help us. Here we go. Okay, let's pop over here. So you could do a search for this link here. So this is HunyuanVideo, but you go down here, a full WSL installation with CUDA is available here. So then you can click that, and it's going to bring you over to this one. Okay, so from here, you're basically going to download these zip files. Again, this is free for Farmhand members, so just get it. Once you get WSL running, all you got to do is run these scripts. So it has an open, so it'll open up in whatever Windows folder you want. You can install the distro from this, and then it has scripts. Windows or Linux scripts are called .sh files. So it has .sh files in here so that you can then install your CUDA and all that. Otherwise, you can watch the videos that I have. I do have videos on how to do it. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. No, that wasn't it. Anyway, I've got videos on how to install your WSL, but it's not easy, just so you know. So that's why we're making it the project for the month, for the week. Just work on that. The goal is to install the tools, install CUDA and CUDA Deep Neural Network, and then The bonus is if we can get this installed. So we're looking at this. It's called HunyuanVideo-Avatar. And so I've been playing with this. I have not been able to get this to work. I've gotten it close on a Windows install, and I finally switched over to Linux. But basically, it's another... I told you, everything is text-to-speech right now. We're going through a massive text-to-speech cycle. But you got down here all of your installation instructions. Notice it's using 12.4 or 11.8. But this pretty much... This is all Linux stuff. Ninja is typically a thing, but so you're going to have to change it. Now, look, it's got parallel inference on multiple GPUs. You're going to need to avoid that. Here's your single GPU inference. This is what we're going to be using, but this, if you run this, it does not open up to a Gradio app. It just does it. So this is kind of the backdoor way of doing it. I've gotten this to work, but I've been trying to get this darn thing to work, the Gradio server. And notice it starts with a .sh file. So again, there's conversion if you're using with Windows, which is why I was finally like, you know what, screw it. Let's just get this over to Linux and we'll see if we can do it there. So your goal for the week is get your WSL working, okay? Because we're going to go back to trying that again, all right? She hurt us once. It's like love. She hurt us once before, but it's time to try again, okay? So we're going to go ahead and do that, and the bonus is if you get it going, we'll get HunyuanVideo Video Installer. As usual, we'll have our midweek questions and answers on Wednesday. So last week, I was pretty out of it. There wasn't a lot of questions, but whatever you guys want to talk about, I don't care. If you want to talk about the price of tea, you know, we'll talk about that. Any questions you have, I'm happy to talk about that, okay? And we'll just kind of follow the flow of conversation. All right, let's go back over to our comments, and then we'll end her there. Okay, Blazer Yo says, I tried the LTX GGUF tutorial and just stuck infinitely loading, installing the Logic Node Pack. First alternative is, do I even need it? I didn't get that far. So he tried the LTX GGUF tutorial. Yeah, I'm not sure. What are you running? I mean, come over to Discord and let's take a look at that. Oh, Duck, he's talking about livestock IRL. He actually meant actual livestock. I don't. I live in a small town where there's lots of livestock, but I actually live in town. So the most wild animals I got is the high school across the street. I got dogs. Come here, top dog. I do breed dogs. Come here, boy. This is my boy right here. Let's see if you can see him. Yeah, so this is my boy, and I do breed him. My parents have goats and chickens and all that good stuff, but not me. Okay. Duck says, my brother-in-law recently got geese. Yeah, I would not hang out with geese. Geese stink. I don't like geese. I love ducks. I didn't know we were going through a text-to-speech cycle. Joined a couple days ago. Yeah, there's just so much text-to-speech stuff that's coming out, Blazer. So, I mean, I've heard like 5 things. So I really need to get on top of that. Gary says he successfully installed the Q8 GGUF LXTV. Good job. So, that Blazer, maybe. Guys, come over to the Discord and chat over there. Come find the channels. And then you guys can talk amongst each other. And I pop in as well. I've got different mods over there. We've got another Gary over there, and as well we've got Fidel Cocoon. He is over there. We've got Lucio, and we have a guy named Papa Nerd who is running a 50s card. So he's a good one to ask questions about that for. Okay, here I'm putting a link to the Discord. This link is good for 7 days, so just come in and join in. But I'm going to tell you, the Discord is one of the things you kind of got to interact. Like, people aren't going to be like, as soon as you walk in the door, like, hey, what's up? You know, hey, you know, we'll pursue you a little bit, but you just got to interact with us, and we will interact with you. Okay, Point says, finally, they added expression with tagging to TTS. Yes. Some now are just better understanding how the sentence should be expressed. That is exactly it. And that was one of the things about this Higgs field, they just added the speech thing where you can get expressions in there. And also, like here, watch, I'll hit this one. You're going to hear background noise.
This is your global dispatch.
Well, maybe not. Let's see if we, one of these had wind. Let's see if we can get this one.
Reporting live on the front lines, where every dust cloud tells a story. I'm your correspondent, standing courageously amid the chaos, bringing you unfiltered truth.
Good for you. Okay, but you'll notice in the background there was rambling noise. So that's kind of the new stuff that's coming out, is they're getting inflection. You know, gosh, man, if you go play with stuff like, what was it? Like, you know, even the old, the Mockingbird, or the, what was the other one? F5. F5's the best there was, but even that, it was just kind of flat. So the new models are all focusing on, hey, you know, da-da-da-da, well, I don't know, you know, getting the inflection, but also adding in background noise. So that's cool. There's a lot of stuff coming out. Okay, Gary Brown is running 8 gigabytes of VRAM and 64 RAM. So, yeah, LTX is probably the choice. That 8 gigabytes is really not very much when you get into video generation. But the good news is that, was I over here when we were playing this? The good news is that with the GGUF models, you can always do that.
Reporting from Studio One, where every headline sparks action. From newsroom.
Oh, damn it. Damn it. No audio again. Ah, I forget to turn that on. So, okay, going back to the weekly review and flagships, I'll just repeating myself. Again, just go in here, get your WSL set up. If you need assistance getting your script going, then head on over, grab the script. It's free for farmhand members. That's the whole thing about being a farmhand member, is you get everything. You can get the system set up, you can get the WSL set up, you know, your HunyuanVideo, your blah, blah, you get everything. So if you don't want to do that, or you want to do it manually, which I totally get because I like to do stuff manually, just go watch one of my videos and I'll walk you through how to do that as well. So so that is our flagship. So it looks like everyone is done. We did it. Looks, thanks guys for popping in. I do appreciate you coming in here and supporting. I do this full time. This is my full-time gig, and I'm excited that you guys are part of it, and it's growing. So I do appreciate your support at all times. And if you do have questions, pop on over to the Discord and hang out with us. Okay, you'll get me in, you get me out. If you guys need my help, you can rent my time as well. I'm always happy to help, you know, on some levels. But if you want some concerted, you know, time where you're like, we're just going to back and forth, and I'll help you understand the bigger picture and we'll get it going, you can always go over and pay me for that as well. I'd be happy to zoom on in, and we'll be best buddies for the next 4 hours or so. All right. With that, we're going to say goodbye, and we will catch you on the other side.